Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. Got the first post game of this NBA season for the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat just got destroyed by the Orlando Magic, 116-97. Trent, the Miami Heat are officially tied for the worst record in the NBA to start the season. So, Trent, how do you feel about that game after that 20-something point loss?
Man, listen. Let me not get you copyrighted, Amir, because that's a game that's being played right now. Let's not get you copyrighted. Anyways, everybody wants to call me a hater. Everybody wants to call me a fake fan. Everybody wants to call me this and that, right? Problem is, between me and you live in a delusional world. I live in a realistic world. I know how bad this team is, and I know how bad, and I know how good this team could be. Do I listen? Hate the Celtics or not? The Celtics look like the best team in the league, and no one's beating them after game one. I don't care what anybody says. They came out there and absolutely destroyed the New York Knicks. Look at the Milwaukee Bucks. They came out. Dame looks like the old Dame, 30-plus points. His shooting was absolutely amazing. He had shooters all around him. Gary Trent, Taurean Prince, Giannis, they were all looking good. We probably can't beat the Bucks at this moment. The New York Knicks look probably worse than us, and I think the Knicks beat us. This is how bad the team is. The Pacers was very mediocre today. They still won the game. The Orlando Magic, they destroyed us by 20-plus points. It was really a 30-point game. Jimmy Butler, who came into this year talking about he doesn't care about contracts, he's going to go out there and perform. And I'm not going to say that. But Jimmy Butler had – Can we look at the stat sheet?
Yeah, let's pull up the box. We can kind of walk through the players.
Let's pull up the box score, please, because this game was absolutely embarrassing. And I already know what the comments are going to say, Amir. Trent, it's only game one. Like, why are we overreacting? You know why I'm overreacting? Because your best player, Jimmy Butler, went 1 for 8. The fact that he only had 8 shot attempts, and that's what we've been complaining about him in the game, load managing on a contract year. For him to have 8 shot attempts the whole game is absolutely depressing. He had a negative 30 plus minus, negative 30, 5 assists. He didn't look good. Jimmy, and I've been saying this to you guys, and you're like, no, Jimmy's going to be fine. Jimmy's not washed, but Jimmy's not Jimmy. So when people say, oh, we're going to win a championship when we're healthy, how is that so when we don't have that Jimmy that went to war with the Los Angeles Lakers? We don't have that Jimmy no more. That Jimmy is nowhere. He doesn't exist no more, right? Then you got Bam Adebayo. I'm more mad at Bam because Bam this whole offseason, I'm about to be taking threes. I'm going to be more aggressive. Everything was about Bam this offseason. Team USA, how everybody loved him. He's everything about this Miami Heat team, right? Oh, but Bam Adebayo came out there. What? He actually sold my parlay. That's actually making me more mad because I seen the bet where it was like 16.5 points. And I said 16.5 points. Bam's going to give me 20 and 10. This is going to be completely fine. My team's going to win tonight. I'm going to win $125. But it was the opposite. My team lost. I lost all my money because Bam Adebayo came out here and looked like an absolutely – I don't want to be mean, but he just – I don't know what the hell he was doing. 1 for 5, 0 for 2 at the three-point line, and did absolutely nothing. Paolo Banchero did what Bam was supposed to do. Paolo Banchero came into Miami, dropped 31 points and 11 rebounds and 3 assists, had a plus-minus of plus 42. Franz Wagner came into Miami, 10 for 16 with 23 points. Those are their 2 guys. You see how their 2 guys stepped up, Amir? And what happened to our 2 guys? Our 2 guys combined of 2 for 13, 2 for 14. Absolutely pathetic. And I'm not even going to have this show talk about Tyler Hero because I can't even talk bad about him because him and Terry, the only one offensively, stepped up. The only people that stepped up. So it's Jimmy and Bam. Those are our leaders. And also, Eric Spoelstra has been absolutely awful for a year and 1 game. And I've been saying this to you, Amir, and you're like, no, listen. I said Spo has been bad. Last year, he was bad. And to start this year, he was bad. We can't score. Let's bring in Haywood Highsmith. Why the hell are we bringing in Haywood Highsmith if we can't score? Why can't we go with Alec Burks, who Alec Burks been running with the ones when everybody was hurt? Alec Burks was running in preseason who looked pretty good, in the scrimmages who looked pretty good. But what did Alec Burks do today? Absolutely nothing. Because you know why? Because Spo's like, nah, we're just going to go away from him. Why the hell are we doing that? This team can't even crack 100 points. And that's Amir's biggest thing where he was like, this offensive, we suck. Offensively, we suck. We can't crack 100. And once again, this team scores 97 points. And I'm going to let you go in on that third quarter, Amir, so you have stuff to say. But it's game one. I said the first 10 games is going to dictate everything about this season and how to start off game one. You can lose this game. This is the last thing I'll say. You can lose the game. But I'd rather lose 116 to 110, 116 to 105. The fact that you get absolutely destroyed, you get blown out, and your two players do absolutely nothing is concerning.
At home on Pat Riley night. So, okay, it's been. I'm going to be the person that does say it's only one game. It was mainly the third quarter. But again, Trent, I'm not going to disagree with you wholeheartedly that there could be issues moving forward, right? Like, I still know Boston is the best team in the NBA. Like, I knew it was going to be very hard for the Miami Heat to beat them. Again, if healthy, if we live in a fantasy world, sure, I'm going to be confident in this team. But right now, this wasn't a good start. This wasn't a good sign. But we did come out in that first quarter. We did score 32 points. Defense wasn't there, though. Paolo, like, dude, like, you called it last year, too, like, saying, like, watch out for this guy year two. Like, what is it, year three or year three, right?
It's three, yep.
Yeah, so, like, he looks elite, especially on offense. On the offensive end, he's 21. I mean, they have two guys that are 6'10" forwards in their front court, him and Franz, that are young and upcoming, like, superstars potentially. I mean, especially him. I don't know about Franz being a superstar, but he's a star. So they looked pretty good in the first half, but Bam and Jimmy were off. Like, Bam didn't take any shots, I don't think, even in the first quarter. Nope. Jimmy, missed some attempts at the rim. He was like 1 for 4 or something. Like, so he was trying. He still got 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Like, all right, it's the first game of the season. Give Jimmy some slack, right? Other people are getting more involved. Tyler and Terry were doing really good. Like, that looked really surprising at the beginning how well they played. Tyler looked good and fluid. Terry, his shooting percentages dropped, but he had to take those tough shots because no one else was. Because Bam technically took 10 shots. If you like, obviously it says he was 1 for 5, but he got to the free throw line 10 times, so he did take 5 other field goals. But you're only taking 10 shots, Bam, after what you said, after this awesome preseason Olympic run, like adding that 3-point, like he took 2 threes, that's fine, but like he just didn't look aggressive. He looked kind of like passive Bam at the beginning, and then Jimmy all of a sudden kind of just sat back and like, all right, Tyler, all right, Terry, like everybody else, like you guys go. And like he looked kind of like he was less engaged and over it, which is insane because he looked good in the. I know it's the preseason. Who gives a shit about the preseason? Doesn't mean anything. But like in a preseason game, like Jimmy looked like Jimmy for a little bit. Like, okay, I'm gonna take this season seriously. And the whatever last game he played in, he had 24 points on like 12 for 13, shooting like 8 free throws in a preseason game. But like then you come out in the home opener, like that's confusing to me, right? Like we were looking fine, only down by a few at half, but then that third quarter getting outscored, what was it, by 21 points? Let me look at it real quick. 39 to 18. That's the game. We lost the game in that quarter. And I mean, it's all the same issues. The inability to score. Our 3-point percentages, they went up over time because the Las Vegas G League guys came in and got to play some garbage minutes, and Haywood and Jovic hit some threes at the end. But just the 3-point shooting, not good enough. Rebounding is the biggest issue. Rebound. What does Pat Riley say on Pat Riley night? And just in general, rebounds win you rings. We got destroyed on the offensive glass. Second chance points. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me say the stat real quick, right? So offensive rebounds, rebounds in total, they had 57. But offensive rebounds, second chance points, they had 18 compared to our 9. Defensive rebounds, they had 39 compared to our 32. So when you're giving that much points up, and then not only that, Amir, how many points did they have in the paint? They gave up 40. They gave up 44 points in the paint.
Oh God, Paolo in that first quarter, do you see him beasting on the offensive rebound
And that's the problem, because that should be Bam. This is the thing, right? We all asked our guests that hopped on the show, can we give Bam the key? Do you think it's time to get Bam? Why is it time to get Bam the key when he looks like he did last year? We came for Bam. He needs to be more aggressive, more aggressive, more aggressive, more aggressive. What did he do? He made 1 shot attempt the whole game. 1 shot attempt in an hour of playing basketball. I don't care about the free throws. 7 for 10. Cool. 1 shot attempt. If we want to win a championship, We need Jimmy and Bam being aggressive. This is my thing. We lose a game, fine. You don't get embarrassed at home. That's two, right? But if Jimmy and Bam are actually trying or actually involved in the game and actually trying to be like, okay, that was a tough fight. That was a tough, hard game. Paulo Banchero and France just couldn't miss. That's fine because there's going to be games like that in the regular season. But it's the fact that Jimmy and Bam went 2 shots combined made. Like, I can't even talk bad about Tyler if I wanted to, Amir. And everybody knows I don't care for Tyler. But Tyler actually came to play today. He did. His stats don't look that good, but he came to play in that first half. He had a first quarter, 12 points, 5 for 6. You can't ask for anything better than that. Jimmy Butler, you better show up. Now, Amir, remember this schedule right here. I said this schedule is very, very easy for us.
Yep.
And then, so our next game is Saturday. That means, I think it's Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Saturday. Amir, today's Wednesday. They have Thursday and they have Friday. They better get some shots ups. They better go practice because now we play the Hornets and the Pistons. And I don't care if we start the season 1-2 or 0-3. I'm done with this team. When I say I'm done with this team, I have no hope with this team for this rest of the season. Let's go into rebuild mode and start. And the reason why I'm giving up so early is because these teams are not playoff teams, Amir. And you know that. If we don't go 2-1 in this stretch, 2-1 in these stretch, it's pathetic. That there's something wrong. Because now then we play the Knicks, then we play the Wizards, and then we start playing some good teams after that. We play the Kings and the Suns. But outside of that, you got the Hornets, the Pistons, and the Wizards. If you don't win those 3 games, we got a problem.
Every game counts. What happened last year? How many games were we out of the 6th spot? How many games were we out of the 5th seed, the 4th seed? How many games were we behind the New York Knicks for the 2 seed, Trent? Was it 4 games or 5? Like whatever it was. So losing this game, home opener against the Magic, that's fine. Like the Magic are an up and coming young team, and Suggs and KCP, like having that backcourt duo, 2 of the best, defending guards in the NBA, along with Wendell Carter and Isaac on the bench, and Paolo's no slouch. Like they're a top 10 defensive team, right? Maybe top 5 last year, whatever it was. And you add the firepower of their young stars improving as 3-level scorers where Franz and Paolo can, play in the paint, hit that mid-range and hit that 3. That's fine. But if you, to your point, and again, I'm optimistic. I know this is 1 game, so this is not the end of the world, but you cannot lose to Charlotte or Detroit at all this early on in this potential final season with Jimmy Butler in the Jimmy Butler build, right? Like with this team running it back with the core of Tyler, Jimmy, and Tyler, Jimmy, and Bam. Sorry, I forgot which name I said. And then adding Terry Rozier into the mix, like who obviously is a capable scorer and someone we need, right? Compared to a Kyle Lowry, like Jaime did fine, Jovic did fine, Tyler did fine, Terry did fine. It's just our 2 stars need to step up, and you can't blow it. I agree with you 100%. Go ahead.
Amir, let me get to this, right? And remember, I told you this, guys. I told you this, and I don't want to say I know it all because I don't know it all. I'm wrong times, and I'm right a lot of times. I'm just say that, okay? But I do want to say something about Jovic, Amir. What did I say, Amir? What did I say about Jovic? He's going to be a spot starter. What happened today? He's a spot starter. You know why? And the crazy thing is he was performing well. I don't know what Spo has against this dude. I don't know, but it's concerning to me because he started the game playing well. How does he finish the game, 18, 19 minutes? That doesn't make sense to me. I understand it was a blowout. No, he actually finished with 24, right?
But he came back in the 4th for garbage.
Exactly. That's why, because it was at 18, 19. I remember that. It was 18, 19 minutes. Why, if he's a starter, why is he playing spot minutes? He's just in there for just to be in the starting lineup. It's not like he's in the lineup to close the game, or when you get that timeout, let's bring the starters in. He's not like that. I don't know what it is with Spo and Jovic. If you're not gonna play him, get him off the team. I just don't get it. Why are they doing that, Amir? Why?
I mean, Hawkes is going to be a closer. You saw in his rookie year, he got so many 10. What was it like? He played like 10 minutes, like every 4th quarter. Like he's in there to start the game because of his fit with the starters. Jimmy Butler and Jaime Hawkes kind of redundant, right? They both don't really spread the floor. So you need Jovic in there for the size, the rebounding, but for him to spread the floor because he shot 40%, So I think that's the reason, but he's not closing, to your point. It's going to be Haywood for his defense, depending on the matchup. And you mentioned this earlier, like I was like, why is Burks not getting any run, like I know he had Haywood in there because of the defense, right? But to your
He
point,
didn't
like,
have
okay,
it.
sure, we're already losing by this much. Like, we need someone now to get like make buckets for us to get us back. So I'm surprised that Burks didn't play, but I think it's going to be a mix. It's going to be a blend. Like Jovic is going to start. He's going to play probably 22 minutes per game, 23, and then depending on how well Smith is doing and Jaime, like those three guys are going to be kind of playing that 3 to 4 spot. So I don't know, man. It just rough game, dude. They shot like shit
No,
today.
it definitely was a rough game, but also, does this bench not concern you? Because the bench concerns me a lot. Like, dude, and maybe Duncan turns it around, but when you look at the bench, there's not scorers off this bench. And this is why I've been saying we need to get Tyler to the bench, because if Duncan's our scorer, we're not going to do good at all. And then, yeah, Jaime and stuff like that, that's cool. But Jaime is most likely going to be with the starters at the end of the game, right? So it's like the starters, the bench is horrible. After this game one, it's horrible, right? 6 points from Duncan. 9 for Haywood Highsmith. Thomas Bryant, 7, but we all know Thomas Bryant's not even going to be in the rotation at the end of the year. We all know that. We know that it's not going to stay, right? And then after that, you have everybody with Khalil Ware and Drew Smith. Obviously, they didn't play. They played at the end. And then Jaime. This team, the bench is not good enough. So hopefully we go to the younger guys quicker, because I think Larson could have played a factor into this game. Like, I really do. I mean, he played for 6 minutes and made one shot already. I think Larson could be a factor into in the rotation. Maybe Kashad Johnson. Alec Burks needs to be a factor. I don't know why he's getting DNPs. That makes literally no sense to me at all. But okay. And Kevin Love, personal, hope the best for you. But he wasn't going to make a factor. So I don't know what Spo's doing with the rotation. Like I said, it's only game one and stuff like that. But he needs to realize that Ware needs to play, Larson needs to play, and Burks needs to play. Those are the 3 players that needs to be inserted into the rotation right now. If that's replacing,
Who do you replace those guys with though? Because
well, dude,
we can't have a 12-man
look,
rotation like that. So what do we have tonight? One, two, three.
Thomas Bryant, you replace,
We had
dude.
9 guys. Yeah, we had. I don't count Kalel and like Pele and
Yeah,
Drew, because they all came in like the last 5
yeah.
minutes.
So yeah, Thomas Bryant, you replace 100%.
With Kevin or Kalel? You're saying Kalel, right? Over Kevin?
I'm saying you got to realize Kevin Love is not going to play the playoffs, and if he does, he plays 5-10 minutes. We all know that.
He's only going to play 10 minutes in the regular season anyway. Yeah. He did last year. He played 12 minutes. You know what I mean?
I think he's that Udonis Haslam, bro. I think that's what it is, but he can play a little bit, right? And then Thomas Bryant, you replace him, right? But then again, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some people are not gonna like this. Duncan Robinson. If Duncan Robinson is not playing well, get him off the team.
Put Burks in.
Exactly. It's not that hard. Whoever has the hot hand, play him. Yes. So they went with Robinson game 1. Okay, cool. Now, if Robinson comes out here again and plays like that, Burks needs to be inserted into the starting lineup. You have options. Josh Richardson is going to be coming back soon. You have Larson. You got Kashad Johnson. You have options, Spo. Use them. And I guess he didn't want to use them early in game 1. But, man, the bench is not good at all.
That's fair. But, I mean, I think it still has enough oomph if Alec Burks.
Exactly.
Like if we're struggling, like, can you get Burks in there to get you 8 to 12 points per game, giving him like 15, 16 minutes, right? Like he could do that. And then you have Duncan again. Duncan hopefully can get you around 10 points per game. It's gonna be one or the other. It's not gonna really be both. But Jaime, like we expect him to get 13 to 15. You get Haywood to hit a 3 or 2, Kevin Love to hit a 3 or 2. It's not so bad, but I know what you're saying. Tonight wasn't good, but I wouldn't be too worried yet, because Jaime is supposed to be that guy who elevates us. And then you have Kevin Love can hit the 3, Duncan can hit the 3, Burks can hit the 3, Jay Rich technically can. None of them are elite except for Duncan, but I see your concern, but I don't think you should be concerned too much yet. But he needs to shuffle the deck eventually, to your point, like even if it's not because of injuries, because of performance. If Duncan comes out flat again in like his 10 minutes in the first half, give Burks a shot, give Kashad a shot, give someone else a chance. He needs to do that versus just like, okay, these guys are the veterans, the guys that I trust. Like I think he needs to give Larson, maybe a Kalel, eventually sometime to win some minutes, right? Like with different lineups against different teams. So either way, this was a horrible start. To your point, if we don't win both games, is it this weekend back to back? Is it Saturday on Sunday,
No,
or
so
this is Monday?
We play Saturday and Monday.
Saturday and Monday. Either way, if you have to beat the Hornets. Like I don't care. They're not a good team. They beat the Rockets though tonight, which is crazy. That's like, I mean, but it's any game, one game, but still the Heat are better than the Rockets. I'm sorry.
No, 100%. Because right? Because if we don't beat, I'm gonna say this and we can wrap it up because I know it's getting long. Yeah. Because look, if you go 1-1 in the Hornets Pistons stretch, good luck. You know why? Because the Knicks, they look bad game one, but they can possibly turn around. It's gonna be tough.
They
You
look
got the
bad against
Knicks.
Boston, though. It's not like they played a
Exactly.
shitty team.
Exactly. So you got Knicks, Kings, and Suns. Bro, I don't care what anybody says. Those are all three great teams.
Yeah,
The
De'Aaron,
Kings,
you got De'Aaron, Sabonis, and DeMar. That's tough right there.
the Suns
Embiid.
have a big three. Like the Knicks have a big three. So you need to win these games because if you don't, we're looking at 1-4, 1-5.
Yeah, it's Jimmy and Bam. Hey, Tyler and Terry, and even Hawkes, to a certain degree, held up their end of the bargain. Like, because we're not going to have 4 20-point scores. If Tyler's averaging maybe 20, Terry's going to be averaging 18, Jimmy's going to be around like 17, 18, Bam, same. You know what I mean? Like, or all 4 of them can average close to 20, whatever it is, but no one's going to be, you should expect roughly 80 points between those 4 as the starting lineup. And then that's where you need Jovic to get some points, Jaime, Duncan, Burks, Kevin Love, whoever it is. And we were the 3rd worst scoring team. We'll close out here. 3rd worst team in the NBA, 27th or whatever it was in points per game last year at 109, and we got 97. Like, we're supposed to have a 5-out motion offense. We're supposed to do all these things. We're supposed to. I mean, we have a healthy Terry Rozier, right? Like, inserted into this lineup, and he did well enough. Even though shooting percentages again,
Need more.
they went down. Like in that first quarter, him and Tyler were balling together. It's all about the stars. It's all about, can Jimmy and Bam now fit in? Because usually it was always that third guy. It's always Tyler and whoever else. Like, you guys need to step up. Tyler, if he gets us 15, 16, Terry 16, 18, 19, okay, that's cool. Now Jimmy and Bam get us like 20 points each. And that should be a win right there. If we get 80, 85 points from those 4 guys alone, we can't average below 109 again. We can't. That's bottom. We need to be middle of the league in points per game. We need to average like 112 per game. We're not going to be the Pacers. We're not going to be the Celtics, but still. Rebounding last year, issue. Scoring, an issue. Even though it's only one game and it was mainly the third quarter, those are still there, right? So I see your concerns. But again, it's only one game. We have a whole bunch of season left. No one got hurt. Let's talk about that silver lining right now, right? Thank God. No one's hurt.
Yet.
Of course, yeah. So we're going to talk about Kashad. We're going to talk about Pele. We're going to talk about Drew Smith, because all these guys are going to get in when our players get hurt inevitably. Like, Tyler's going to miss games. Duncan's going to miss games. Bam's going to miss some. Jimmy's going to miss some. So we're going to see different lineups, right? So it hasn't happened yet. Thank God. Let's knock on wood. Preseason and the first game of the season, we haven't lost anybody. Josh is going to come back, hopefully, for the next game on Saturday. Kevin Love, no reason, not sure why he was out with personal reasons, but we'll have a full deck. So we'll see. But anyway, that's all I have for this post-game episode with Trent. Don't forget to go to Trent's channel, Miami Heat Network. He's pushing to 5,000 subscribers. I'm pushing to 2,000 subscribers this season. So we're going to have a ton of content, obviously, on the roundtable or individual channels, and we'll be doing more post games and some lives together, hopefully, as well. So anyway, have a good night.